2 opens with Scott and Zelda confusing their personal identities with characters in Fitzgerald's novels. Brought back to their true selves by the interviewer, Zelda refers to their lives together as a slow dance with death among the rich and famous.
We spent our early years dying among the beautiful and damned.
Life was spontaneous, little to think about.
Nothing but fun and nothing ever planned. But oh, how exciting those times must have been when Paris was in its prime. All those wonderful artists whose works were so sublime. Paris was teeming with so many souls who changed the face of art. Writers and artists who changed our perceptions and found some new ways to reach inside your heart.
So many soon became lost in a twilight world, running away from truth, trying so very hard to retain their youth.
I know it all too well, for I was one of them, and I just could not face the thought of growing old. When forced to face the fact of my mortality, I was consumed by dread and could not be consoled.
At the end of the song, the lights dim and the mists roll in as Fitzgerald relives the opening scene, but with a different outcome. The interviewer expresses her desire to leave the future behind.
What is the reason for my existence? Sometimes we all confront that ancient quandary. All that I know is I was an outcast, trapped in a time and place I did not want to be. Nothing to cling to, nothing but new uncertainty, threatened by progress and new technology. Oh, how I long to leave all of the future far behind and to live my life backwards in time. It can get confusing when no signposts point the way. In a world you know you don't belong, where all sense of values and of truth seems upside down, where there's no clear view of right and wrong. I longed for certainty, I wanted clarity. Everything around me seemed beyond.
As in Act 1, Hemingway appears and is attacked by both Zelda and the interviewer. This time, however, Hemingway is less confrontational, and admits that he became trapped in a world of macho attitudes that he helped to create.
All of my life I tried hard to live up to what I thought defined me as being a man, trying so hard to disguise any weakness, attempting to convince the world what a truly tough guy I am. I tried to live up to the expectations that I myself did so much to defy. I set myself goals that were never really in my nature, and it drove me out of my mind. I was determined to set a new standard for manly behavior, and that is a fact. I wrote a blueprint, my own manifesto, on what every man should think and exactly how he should act. So many took it all to heart, and I found that I became trapped in the lie. I was a slave to the crazy monster I created, and I never understood why. There was no one I respected enough to look up to for guidance, to show me the way. All those I knew seemed so weak and uncertain, and all of their idols were made out of clay. I was obliged to live life in a prison that I had created, unable to flee, looking at life through the bars of my cell, everything way beyond my reach, nothing getting too close to me. I found that I was forced to be my own protector, with no one to help me. I stood all alone. I kept everybody at a distance, and I remained locked in a world of my own.
Zelda accuses Fitzgerald of having broken her heart, but Fitzgerald claims it was the other way around.
Can you have forgotten it was you who broke my heart when you rejected me? If things had not changed and I had not become an overnight celebrity, you would not have married me. If you'd only shown more faith in me, if only you believed in destiny, you'd have proved you truly loved me and spared me a lot of misery. But you rejected me.
I simply knew that I would not be happy living in a state of poverty with such uncertainty.
something you can put aside and save up for a rainy day. No, keep it locked away. The fact is you did not have faith in me. I cannot see it any other way. No matter what you say.
I thought you just wanted me for drama, so that you had things to write about.
It is true you were my inspiration, but the fact is I loved you. Of that there is no doubt.
But I believe you drove me to extremes. I had no private life, no private dreams. You used each part of me. That's how it seemed to be.
In a more tender moment, the two recall their first meeting.
I do remember very clearly that crazy night.
You looked so handsome and so dashing in your uniform.
How you completely overshadowed all else
I
inside.
thought you so exotic, so far beyond the norm.
All of the boys were gathered around you, moths to a flame, and I was one. I had to know your name.
You had no competition, you stood out from the rest.
And from that moment I just knew I belonged to you.
And as for me, I felt exactly those emotions too.
I felt that life with you would be never-ending fun.
And right away I wanted to spread my wings with you.
I felt my life had just begun, and everything told me you would always be the only one.
You were the one I'd always searched for.
You had the most compelling allure.
I yearned to see you more and more.
And when I kissed you, I knew for sure that we were meant to be.
Fitzgerald remembers Zelda as an irresistible vamp in her youth.
From what I heard, you were the vamp of the town.
I was not there, but I am sure that it's true.
You can't believe everything that you hear.
That is just how I remember you.
I'm sure it's true.
You made each guy you met fall at your feet.
It sounds like you were quite the belle of the ball. I can't be blamed if boys threw themselves at me.
You seduced each boy you chanced to meet.
That's just not true. I never let them get to first base. The truth is that they bored me to tears. I could not help the fact that they fell for me.
That's not the way it reached my ear.
I could not help but adore you.
She was simply
You flirted with each boy that you met.
From what I hear, you were a terrible tease.
I never meant to cause anyone any pain.
Seems to me you did just as you pleased.
That's just not true. I could not help but be the person I was.
The problem was you were just selfish and vain.
I don't believe she was as selfish as that. I don't believe you meant to cause me pain.
I never did. Maybe I was a little bit thoughtless. I was absent-minded at times, but I never meant to cause heartache.
She has not committed any crimes.
She acted without
Thinking
Maybe that's true.
Whether or not it was intended, you were a siren calling men to their doom.
If true, I never meant to.
Maybe that was part of your secret. You possessed an innocence that ensnared me in your loom.
Scott and Zelda try to pinpoint where things went wrong in their lives.
I should have stuck to my decision. There is no doubt.
The fact is, I was devastated when you first said
I was
no.
mistaken when I thought it might all work out.
That's when I started drinking. I'm sure that you must know.
I sense that we destroy each other, but in the face of your persistence,
I could not live without you.
and I believed it so.
You've been my light and inspiration in all I've
Glad to
done.
hear you say that. It's nice to know for sure.
Our lives were bound together and we become as one.
Loved your warm attention. I wanted more and more. Then I became addicted to you. I found I could not bear the thought of leaving you alone. You were the one I'd always searched for.
You had the most compelling allure.
I yearned to see you more and more.
And when I kissed you, I knew for sure. You've been my light and inspiration in all I've done.
I'm glad to hear you say that. It's nice to know for sure.
Our lives were bound together and we become as one.
I loved your warm attention. I wanted more and more. Then I became addicted to you. I found I could not bear the thought of leaving you alone. When our souls merged together, I lost all sense of self.
Your mind went off to someplace I could not follow you.
I feared that I might lose you and wind up on the shelf.
How did it all go wrong? I wish I knew.
I was adrift without a compass. I did not want to face the fact, but now I know it's true.
They also recalled the more exhilarating times of their early years together.
Nights floating by like a dream,
drifting along with the breeze.
Late summer days on the river together,
Doing whatever we please. Oh, how I wish I'd been there. You make it sound so ideal.
Nothing is quite as idyllic as that.
It all depends how you feel.
yes, those were halcyon days.
Falling in love made it so.
Everything's different when you are in love.
That was a long time ago. Love in the first blush of youth is never recaptured again.
Those magic days were the best of my life.
But soon it all turned to pain.
We have to try to hold on to those golden days when we had such a wonderful time. We'll always have all those memories when we were in our prime. Why did those times have to end?
Why did it all fall apart?
Passion is something that can't last forever. Such are affairs of the heart.
Why must we take such a cynical view?
I only say what is true. When passion comes to its natural end, there's nothing much you can do.
And they remember the wild times they had in Paris.
Living a lifestyle that I'd never known before was so exciting, a heady delight.
Eating and mixing with all those celebrities.
Going to parties that lasted all night.
Wild times in Paris, flaunting all the glitz. Dining al fresco and putting on the Ritz.
Putting on the Ritz.
Putting on the Ritz.
Putting on the Ritz. Sailing with rich folk on yachts off the Riviera. Strolling with friends on the Champs-Élysées.
Being on first names with all the great movie stars.
Taking the sun on the beach at Saint-Tropez. Wild times in Paris, flaunting all the glitz. Dining al fresco,
putting on the Ritz.
putting on the Ritz.
Putting on the Ritz.
Putting on the Ritz.
Dining in France was always divine, with such an abundance of good food and wine.
We would enjoy the finest cuisine. The French really know how to have a good time. We were invited by French aristocracy as honored guests at their country chateau.
Coasting along through that beautiful countryside.
Tasting the wines at estates in Bordeaux. Wild times in Paris, flaunting all the glitz. Dining al fresco,
And putting on the Ritz.
putting on the Ritz.
Putting on the Ritz.
Putting on the Ritz. that I treasure most are all of the times I spent with you.
Yes, it certainly was a grand time. It was a wonderful dream come true.
Even though one could say that sometimes we bit off more than we could chew.
I don't regret a single moment.
I truly feel the same way too. I treasure every memory of those days in France I spent with you.
The show ends with them renewing their love for each other.
There are kinds of love where emotions are intense and the light of passion burns too bright. It's hard to take the blame when things don't quite pan out, and who can say who's wrong or right? But the fact remains I have always loved you, even when my thoughts may have strayed. Loving you is just like breathing, it's just the way I'm made, and I know for sure my love for you will never ever fade.
It's the same for me. There is no one else but you. I'm consumed by you in every way. No matter how things seem, you hold my every dream. I think about you every day. You're my one true love. There is no denying that I've always loved only you. From the first day that I met you, I think right then I knew there would never ever be another love for me but you.
I'm so sorry for the way I failed you. I did not intend to cause you pain.
There's no need to feel that way. It's true what people say. Each life must have its share of rain.
And the fact remains I have always loved you, even when my thoughts may have strayed. Loving you is just like breathing, it's just the way I'm made, and I know for sure my love for you